Hello and welcome back. This is Amanda the Nerdy Krafter, and I'm here today with my Paper Stash Smash collab project. This is a project I've been watching since 2022. Miss Letty with Party Planner Papery was probably one of the first videos that I saw, and I also have loved following Project 39 mini albums, Debbie and Carolina with Carolina Crafts. All of their information along with the other designers that are in the series with them for this year. You can find in the link of my bio below. I am not part of the hop. It's just something that I've really wanted to do, and I want to find some inspiration of pulling out those projects that have been sitting, whether it's paper or projects or whatever it is, pulling it out and using what I've got in my stash. I have a plethora of paper, embellishments, stickers, all that stuff in my collection. So this is how following this project is what I'm hoping for, at least to pull out one thing a month and to smash it. So this month, my goal was, it's free choice, anything goes. So for this month, I've chosen to interpret that as my UFOs, my unfinished objects. So I had a big container day one of this month, the 1st of January, that I brought in, and I showed you all of these different projects that I had in my collection that needed some love and needed some work. So that is what I've been working on. I've worked on the 3D images, the Wizard of Oz Glinda cards, the breast cancer cards, and now I'm shifting over to some of my art impressions cards. So these were cards that I was gifted. They are cards that were pre-colored. The images were pre-colored by Art Impressions. I taught a class a number of years ago at a retreat. It was make and take and coloring demo by me and one of my girlfriends, Christina Rutter. And so I was gifted these pre-colored images by Art Impressions, and we had some left at the end. And they've just sat here in kits, partial kits, because I had to use some of the paper. And so I've got partial kits sitting here that I really need to get done, give them away as gifts, and give them new life. So that is the intent for today. You may have some of these cards in your kit, and you have not been pulling out your Twister cards, and you want to bring them out and use them, or the Windows cards. So I've got the truck, and I've got the desert background. So if you've got any of these in your collection, pull them out, start using them. You're totally tubular, this little hamster set with the doors that open up. So super cute. So that's the goal for today, is to take all of these extras that I've got here. I think there's a couple other little special delivery. I had a couple of the trifolds left that I went through, and I trimmed up some paper to start with on these projects. And then I'm going to show you putting one of them together, and then I'm going to go back and do all of the other ones, and then come back at the end and show you how much I was able to get done. I'm using these little project boxes from Spellbinders. I absolutely love them because it's got a top, it's got a lid on it. So I can store some of the project on top, some of it in the trays. And this is so amazing. So when I'm doing organization and prepping and trying to get things cut up, I bring these in pretty regularly. I also take them to retreats with me when I have all these little embellishment items that I need to have a good place for them to be stored at. So that's what I do with those. So I think I only have one of her. So we're going to start easy with her. So I only had one of her left over. The rest of them all went to a good home. So she's pretty simple. She's got the die cuts out her little apron here. So I can embellish within here. I've got the little flower. And I kind of want to stick the flower inside, so I'm going to tuck that in more. We've got a bow for her hair, and then a present and a cupcake. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to deal with this pocket. So I know where I want those lined up at. I'm going to grab my glue press, and I just add a little strip of glue underneath here to hold those in place so they don't go running around. I love the fine tip on this glue press. It gives me control over where the glue goes. It is a must-have in my collection. I use a combination of both glue and ATC tape. Just depends on what I'm working on, what medium. Sometimes if it's a lighter paper, I generally want to use my ATG. That's my advanced tape gun by Scotch, because that won't warp the paper like glue has a tendency to do. The glue that I use in my glue press is Barely Art Glue. It is my favorite glue of all time. I do have one of their mini sample ones also. One of my good friends 3D print this ornament, and it holds that gorgeous little sample glue press. So I use that when I'm traveling and just need a little something. Add this beautiful bow. Now all of these images, her little dress could be paper pieced. You don't even have to color it if you don't want. So there's not a whole lot that you have to color on these. So these are quick, fast, and simple images. That's the thing I like too. You don't have to spend hours coloring. You don't have to be, you can do things simple. All right, there is our first card. Sending you love, special delivery. So we've got that one. Like I said, I'm going to just do one of each of these with you. And then I'm going to do the rest of them off camera so you don't have to watch me put all of them together. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is this little piece that gets cut out. I like to sneak it inside to the inside of my card. I just find that it looks so cute when it's on the inside, and there's two pieces here. So because I'm going to be sneaking it on the inside, I am going to use wet glue for this, because I may need to wiggle it around a little bit, and I need that little bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to place that inside. I'm going to bring in my ergonomic bone folder here. This is from Trinity Stamps. It is a must-have in my collection. This is a thicker paper, so wet glue will be perfect with it. And I do want to kind of get it close to the edges. And I may need just a little bit of room, wiggle room, to line this up with the die cut image that I die cut. Now this is a little bit of a glossy paper here. So one of my tricks with a glossier paper, and please excuse my my paper towel here, but I just bring in a paper towel and then I'll burnish over the top of that. This is something that I learned from one of my other crafty friends, Lynn from LV Handcrafted. I'm like, what a great idea. Because if you have glossy paper or metallic paper, sometimes it will leave a residue. And this helps with that. So this is our twister element. I kind of think of it as a fidget spinner. I absolutely love this. I was at Creativation in 2020 when these first came out, and I was able to do a demo for Art Impressions. And it was amazing. They had Creativation in Arizona that year. So I was able to go, and this little thing, I don't think, because he came out, all these little twisters came out during COVID, I don't think they got the advertisement that they should have, because they are so stinking cute and so adorable. And for all of us who love to fidget just a little bit, I absolutely love it. So they call them the twister cards because I twist and shout, but I call it my little fidget card. And I love that you can see the back. I love that you can see the front. It is just so stinking cute. And then we have a sentiment here that I think I'm going to put on the outside. Or, you know what? I can put that right here on the inside, so it hides behind him some more. All right. So there is my Santa Twister card. And I think they have retired most of these, but if you can get your hands on any of them, I highly recommend it because they are so stinking cute. All right, and now one of our windows. This one I'm going to bring in my ATG gun. And I did go through and trim down all this paper. I kind of did a dry run before, like of how I thought it might sit on the card, and then sat down and pre-cut all of this. So that prep work I did in advance. Oh, it looks like I've got two of the reds in this one. Because I knew this, well, I wasn't going to do all of them with you, but I knew this project would take a long time to get all this done. So sometimes I find taking it in smaller pieces is super helpful. The thing I like about the ATG gun also is I can pre-glue everything, as you see here, and let it sit for a minute before I actually place it down. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Pear Blossom Press rulers. So these are the Pear Blossom Press Zero centering ruler. And I saw somebody the other day take their little magnets and magnet that down, because sometimes I fight with it sitting directly. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what a great idea. So what this does is it allows you to do an even edge all along your paper without guessing, unless you are team eyeball, which I was before this came out, and now I absolutely love it. So this is their A7 card, or their 5x7 card ruler, so it centers at that. Their A2 card is here, and one side goes the horizontal, the other side goes with the vertical for your zero centering. The little grids on, oops, don't glue your project down. This one is a 1/2 inch, so that would be a 1 inch border, 1/2 inch all around. And this is 3/8 inch. The A7 one does a 1/4 and an 1/8. So those are the ones I use the most when I'm crafting. So I was thinking for this, I kind of like to go off center a little bit. I am team wonky because I do like to eyeball. That makes it look an intentional eyeball. Okay, and now this is where I can bring in my zero centering ruler. And I do it on the back side to start with. So oops. There we go. All right, and there's one of our cards. So we've now got 3 cards down, and we're going to work on our last one, which is our little hamster wheel. And I ran out of the totally tubular background, so that's fine. So I did go through and trim up some other paper to use. So I have, this is my base. So it's going to go like this, with my hamster house. And then my cute little hamsters to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the big pieces down. And then I will, and I know I have some card bases here. I brought some over. So I go back and forth with creating my own card bases and purchasing them. Just depends on how many I'm doing, what the project is. For these ones, I brought in, I think they're the Ohuhu ones off of Amazon. If I remember, I will put the link in my bio for them. They have a very nice card base. They're nice and thick. I also use the paper cut a lot. They have a little crate that theirs comes in. I've done some other projects with the paper crate background cards. I have had some luck at Michael's finding some in the past, especially if they're on sale or Hobby Lobby. So you just look around and find what works for you. I do have very limited time to craft, so if I can take something out of my collection of things I need to do by pre-buying the card bases, sometimes I will do that. Oops, make sure it's all lined up and drop it down. I still like to go in with my bone folder burnishing tool and score that down. So that one was 1/8 of an inch, and I think this one is 1/4 of an inch. It is, because I like to do quarters down. Perfect. And then for this guy, I want to pop open my doors, so I make sure I don't glue my doors. And this little tube here, I can hide one of my little Hamster's in, so I gotta look and see which hamster will fit in there, which one faces that direction. That little guy faces that direction, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue him in there so I don't accidentally glue that shut. So I like to pop the doors open also to make sure that I don't glue them down. I love that the die does all that work for us. I love the little cutouts. I think I've mentioned it before. I utilize Barely Art glue in my glue press. It's my favorite glue of all times. I think having him pop here. Him stand on top. Sometimes I have one poking through the window at the top, but I did glue that down before I thought of that. So he's going to be climbing on the outside of the little tube here. He's going to be sitting on top of the little wheel. I think I've got at least 5 or 10 of each of these cards, other than the little bunny special delivery one. So, like I said, I'm doing this first batch with you here, so you can see them all put together. And then I will go back and finish all of these and come back at the end and let you know how many I made. I got a little bit of extra glue on there, so I'm going to just grab my baby wipe here and just buff that off. And there we go. All right. Here is the totally tubular, our little hamster wheel. And I will try to post links to all these products in the description box below. So if they're still available and you're interested in adding them to your collection, you have the ability to do that. All right, I'm going to go put all these together and be back at the end and show you how many we created. See you in a little. All right, thank you so much and welcome back. Unfortunately, I lost my audio on this, so I'm going to do a voiceover. But I went through and I worked on this project, and oh my goodness, I cannot believe how many cards we were able to complete this round. It did take me a couple hours. I was watching some YouTube videos while I was working on it, but we ended up completing, ended up completing 46 cards. So absolutely amazing to have these in my collection, to be able to gift to other people and to give them new life so that they're just not sitting in these bags that I had. Again, these were make and takes from Art Impressions for a retreat that I hosted a number of years ago. And these were just some of the leftovers. So just love it. We've got the little trifold card here, which are some of my favorites. These are super cute cards. Just love these. We've got the cute little bunny with the mail on it. We have the Santa twister card, a couple of the Windows cards, one with the cactus on it, the other with the car. And then the little hamsters. I want to call them gerbils for some reason. I don't know why. But the little hamster cards, so they are totally tubular, I think is what the sentiment said. But this just makes me so happy. I cannot even begin to say thank you for the Paper Stash Smash, for encouraging me to pull out my projects and use what I have. And I just love having these out of my collection and sitting here and collecting dust, and now they can go to new homes and see new life. So thank you again so much for following. With this, that now is up to 73 projects. We have 13 of the 3D cuts, and then 8 of the Wizard of Oz Glinda cards, 6 of the breast cancer cards, and 46 of the Art Impressions cards. So what a great way to start off January, clearing out my collection. I have a new box of cards available, which I had run out of cards last year with all my gifts. So excited to have all these new cards to give out next year. So again, thank you so much for joining. This is Amanda the Nerdy Krafter, and this is, I'm following along with the Paper Stash Smash collab, hosted by Debbie at Project 39 Mini Albums, Carolina from Carolina Crafts, and one of my faves, Letty at Party Paper Papery. I will get that right by the end, Letty, I promise. Thank you all so much. Have a great day, and I will catch you next time. Bye.